welcome back to another video, the T on NPD and relationships. Hello, everyone. To all of my new subscribers and new family members, hello, hi, and of course, welcome. And to my tribe and family at large, listen, fam, welcome back. Thank you all so much for, of course, coming back and watching another video, fam. You know I'm always plugging our weekly live streams. In this season, we're typically on Fridays. We actually went live on last night. It was a beautiful, beautiful live stream. We really enjoyed it. Great conversation. If you haven't had a chance to take a look at that, please go, of course, to the my videos, the live streams, and you will see the latest one that we did on last night. Y'all, typically it's around 6:30 on Friday nights. I will, unless otherwise specified, I'd love to see you in the place, all right? And y'all, every time we drop a video on the channel, first of all, I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you that heard my pleas last week when I was saying that, you know, please help someone else that helped you by hitting the like button. And I just want to say thank you, because I've seen a tremendous increase in the participation. So family, I love you and thank you so much for that. All right. So y'all hit that like button, because y'all know the goal of the day is 2.1K plus on the likes if you rocks with your girl. Okay. And y'all know I'm plugging Seduced by Satan. It's pinned in the description below. I'd love for you to go ahead and pick up your copy of this book. Y'all, I'm telling you, you will thank me later. I mean, it is a great read. We've been getting some great reviews on the book. So I want to thank each and every one of you that have supported us. Listen, if you are ready to listen or actually ready to read about a book, or ready to read a book based on a true story where you get to witness the accounts of a real life psychopathic malignant narcissist, cerebral/somatic, because he was like both. Okay, y'all pick up your copy today. The description is, the link is pinned in the description below. All right, let's jump into the topic of this video. Want to talk about how a narcissist, how they decide who and if they're going to hoover you or not, how they decide and it's a setup. Okay, it is. There is a setup for this. Want to talk about this because I want you all to understand something, that just because you leave the narcissist doesn't mean that the narcissist has left your mind. You know, it doesn't mean that the soul tie has actually been severed. And so this is a lot of the reason why narcissists, whenever they're deciding who they're going to hoover, there are some things that they take into consideration, you know, after the discard. And so I want you all to definitely be one of those people that they know they can't play with. You understand what I'm saying? Because y'all, these birds are, I'm going to tell you something. They something else. They really are. So when they leave, or when the discard happens and they leave the relationship, okay, or you know, you guys go your separate ways, however it happens. Now, a narcissist is typically going to have a backup supply. They're typically going to have a secondary, or they're going to have a new supply. Now, they're going to typically depend on this new supply to cover all bases for them. Okay. And that's for probably a good hot 9 to 12 weeks. That's about how long they're going to be able to give that new supply on that love bomb and that little honeymoon fake crap that they do. All right. But then the narcissist comes to the realization that the new supply is not going to fulfill all of their needs either. The new supply has probably told the narcissist no, gave them some resistance in an area, perhaps put a boundary down or whatever. The narcissist, I told y'all this before, and I want y'all, and some of y'all been testifying about it in the comment section. When you leave a narcissist, you rise to the top of the list, okay, to the most wanted list. And so what happens is, when a narcissist is trying to determine or trying to decide who they're going to hoover, they got to know certain things about the situation. First of all, they have to make sure by running their little heat test, their little crap test, they got to see, one of the things they're going to test for is, do you still have the same phone number? And if you do, can they still call you? Yeah, they're testing for that. Okay. This is how they're going to decide whether they hoover you or not. If you still have the same phone number, and if they're able to call, meaning will the phone ring when they call you? Okay. If the phone is going to ring when they call you, but you don't answer the phone, a narcissist thinks in their mind it's only a matter of time before you're going to pick up the phone. So these are little stupid things that they look for. I mean, but this is what they look for. Can they still text you? Or when they text you, are they blocked? They're going to look for something like that. They want to know, is there basically still a emotional connection in place that they can capitalize on? This is why I tell you all, just because you leave the narcissist doesn't mean that the narcissist has left you up here. Okay? And what they bank on is being able to determine if you still have them in your mind. Okay? And that right there is going to tell them that it'll let them know whether that emotional connection is still in place, because they know that if that emotional connection is still in place, it's only a matter of time before they're going to be able to break you down into saying yes to them or giving in to them again. All right. So let's go. So whenever they're trying to determine whether they're going to hoover you or decide whether they're going to hoover you or not, what they have to know is that it's going to yield a return for them. And what that means is they got to know going in that this is not going to injure them. And how they're going to know going in that they're possibly not going to get injured is if they've tried to reach out to you and you told them and you said, hey, I would like to meet with you and talk with you, whatever, you texted them back and said, don't ever call me again. Don't ever talk to me again. Narcissists don't listen to none of that. They don't care nothing about that. If they tried to, if they sent you a text message and said, hey, I know, we're not talking or we're not cool anymore or whatever, somebody, either somebody died, somebody got sick, either they're sick or whatever. And you respond to the message and say, hey, sorry to hear that, but, please don't contact me. They don't care nothing about that. They coming back again. They want to know, is there still some emotion, or are you going to still react or respond to them? Okay, that's how they determine whether they're going to hoover you. The biggest setup, though, is to leave you with no closure. That's the biggest setup. That is one of their number one MOs whenever they are looking to hoover you, is did they leave you with no closure? Are you one of those people that require an explanation? Are you one of those people that question them over and over? And see, a narcissist knows when you sit up and overthink things. And a lot of times they tell you little dumb stories and tell you about people trying to talk to them. They try to triangulate you. They do little stuff to make you overthink. And so they know that. And when they determine that about you, they know how to play you to a certain point to get you to react to them if they're still in there emotionally. Man, this is why it's so important to master them emotions. This is why it's so important to master the soul. Because I'm going to tell you something. These clowns, this is how they determine if they're going to hoover you or not. It's based upon your emotional connection with these backwards walking giraffes. Yeah. Because they know how powerful emotions are. And they know how they were able to affect you when they were in the addiction ship with you. They would push a button, make you laugh. Do something else, make you cry. Do something else, make you angry. Do something else, make you feel sorry for them. They already know. They know how to go around and push the buttons in your soul. Yeah. But this is how they decide if they're going to hoover you or not. Because, see, they need to know that it's something left in that soul tie and that connection that they had with you. I pray in the name of Jesus that every soul tie that y'all ever had with a narcissist be severed at this moment. In the name of Jesus. Because I'm going to tell y'all something. This is how these clowns get back in over and over and over again. It's because they don't care nothing about you leaving the situation. How they determine if how they decide if they gonna come back and hoover you or not is, are they still able to affect you emotionally? Yeah. Do you sit up and think about them and ruminate over them? They gonna know that too. They'll send you an email. How you been doing? Is everything okay with you? You know, you really hurt me. You really did this to me. You really did that to me. And now I'm so broken. And oh, you send them an email like that, baby. You can look for a Hoover coming almost immediately. Yes. Okay, like Bernie Mac said, immediately. Okay? Why? Because you're telling them at that moment that you got emotions towards them. I don't care if it's a negative emotion. They just want some type of emotion because they know that when they can determine that you still will allow them to call, reach out, or do anything of that nature, you're a good one. You're a great candidate for a Hoover. That's how they do it. That's how they decide if they're going to hoover you or not. There has to be something left for them. They have to know that if they come back and they put their ego on the line to hoover you, that it's going to give them, it's basically going to give them a return. But see, what you do is, see, some of y'all done learned the game. You done let that narcissist, you didn't block them. You let them call. And then when they tried it, that place where it was a door, they found out it was a wall. And guess what? You shamed them so bad that they just knew after that point, it was they were never going to try you in a Hoover again. Not ever again. Because they understood that now you learn how to play the game better than they did. You didn't block them. You didn't tell them don't ever call you again. You showed them a thing or two. You showed them a thing or two. But that's what you have to do with them. Because these clowns don't understand words. They know their words don't mean nothing. And they think that everybody else's words don't mean anything. Because they know how much they lie. So family, this is what they do. This is how they decide if they're going to hoover you or not. Let them come right on up to that thing that they thought they used to be a door to your heart. Baby. And let them go ahead and try it and find out it's a wall. Baby, look, that ego just got slam dunked. Okay? It just got slam dunked. All right, family. So listen, y'all, make sure, learn to master your emotions. That's why you got to heal from your trauma. Okay? That's why you got to heal from your trauma so you don't get the drama of a narcissist. Period. Okay? All right, family. So I love y'all. Take really good care of yourselves, all right? And I will see you all on the next video, fam. And I will see you all healed and whole at the top. Shalom, family. Peace.